All right, what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another episode of the Just Ballin' podcast. It's going to be a bunch of different things we're going to talk about today. I think for the YouTube version, I'm going to be reacting to the Ringer's new NBA mock draft. And here on the podcast, you guys will get kind of a snippet of pretty much what I think that the Cavs should do in the offseason. That was kind of a YouTube exclusive. And then before we get into all that, I do want to talk about my experience at the 2024 Draft Combine, just to kind of talk about how it was, how cool it was, and just kind of everything I learned from it. So maybe if I figure out a topic as we go along, something will come out. You guys will probably get the next episode on Monday, May, what is that, the 20th? So in that episode, you'll get all my round 2 reactions, because we'll kind of know the end of some of those series between the Mavericks and the Thunder, the Knicks and the Pacers, and the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. And then we will also be ranking my top 15 wings in that. So that could be a loaded episode on Monday, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, so just to kind of recap my time at the 2024 Draft Combine, basically, it was a really cool experience. I was able to get access through the NBA. They were able to I kind of went there as basically a creator. So basically it's agents that go, any type of coaches. So you can coach University of California, Baylor. I think it probably means, like, I don't know how many schools can go. Maybe you have to have a prospect there. Like I would see people in like polos or vests of those schools. And it was kind of crazy. Like at the hotel room I was like staying in, like I heard a conversation from a coach trying to get somebody in like the transfer portal. It was kind of wild, just being in there. And you walk through, it was in like the Marriott Marquis in Chicago, and you see everybody. Like I immediately walked in, I saw Kenny of like King of the Fourth Quarter, and I was like, okay, like what's up, man? Like how we doing? He was there. Derek, I met Mike, and then Pierre too. Super cool dude, super cool like group of guys, and they were there for the creator side of things. I think I knew like Tristan before, because I think he did stuff with like Jidell in the past, and those guys, or he was there. And then there was a couple other creators as well that I kind of met throughout the process, which was really cool. That's kind of how I got access, since I'm not like a journalist or an analyst or obviously an agent, coach, or scout or anything like that. So I was able to get access through that. It was really cool. On Monday, like I flew in Sunday night, flew Southwest for my first time ever. I don't really like it. I know like that's their thing, Southwest, is you end up getting like a seat like alignment, like you're like A something, right? And you can be A35th, A10th, and that means your spot in the line, and you get to choose. And I don't know if I like that. I think I'd rather just get my assigned seat, honestly. And then we get on. We are packed like sardines. I don't know. This plane was like super hot. I felt like we didn't get as much space as usual. I'm like 4th row aisle, and they mentioned that there's like 30 open seats. I'm like, I probably should have went to the back if I wanted nobody next to me. A lady takes the window, and I'm like, okay, nobody's taking this middle, right? Nobody's taking the middle. A girl with a cat comes on. I mean, you got to get your cat somewhere, right? So she comes on with the cat in the middle. She's got like her noise canceling headphones on. So did I. And I still heard this cat meowing this whole flight. I felt bad for the poor thing. Like it was underneath the seat in like a crate. So the Southwest flight was kind of crazy. And Chicago's kind of weird too, where they obviously have O'Hare and Midway as airports. And I was staying in like South Chicago, like where their Wintrust Arena is and where the Combine went down. So I flew into Midway, flew out of O'Hare. Midway wasn't too bad getting to the hotel, but getting to O'Hare, I mean, I feel bad for people that constantly do that drive, like in Chicago. Like you're hitting an hour of traffic for 20 miles, no matter any time of the day, it feels like. So I'm also not a big fan of O'Hare's airport. It was kind of let down, honestly. It was my 3rd time in there, but it's been a little bit. But yeah, like it was really cool. Got like Monday morning, went to the Wintrust Arena. We recorded all the Combine drills. You guys are probably subscribed to the Sauce channel. You saw my video on that. We got to do the 5-star or the shooting star drills. We got to do the shuttle runs, the pro lanes, the max vertical jump, the 3/4 sprints, and I think that was it. Yeah, I think so. It would have been cool to get like measured in too, but yeah, I did that. I messed up and I didn't bring a pair of shorts with me to the Combine that day, so I did this all in like khaki jeans and a polo, and I think I landed with the top or the number 2 shooting score. And I don't know if it was the jeans, but I'm like, my form just doesn't look very pretty. I don't know. I'm obviously not like a shooter. I had the best sprint. I think I was up there in the pro. It's like there's one, the shuttle cone. That I got like middle of the pack. That's where you like sprint, go side to side, back pedal, side to side, then go side back, sprint, side, back pedal, you're done. That was middle of the pack. I forget what it's called, where it's just like, it's like a reaction time thing, and you sprint to one end, sprint to the next end. It's It's like a 2 to 3 second thing, but I got first in that, which is cool. But I have no hops. I finished, I think my max vert was like 24.5 inches. I don't even know what my running vert was. It wasn't good. That I'll blame it on the jeans, right? So that was a really cool experience. And then like Monday we're watching all the prospects do that too, from like basically noon to like 5 p.m. I left right before Bronny's group came because I'm like, I wanted to get a lot of these videos done. And I didn't know if he was coming out. He did. I'm upset I missed Tim and Devin Carter for sure. Like Reese Shea or Salon obviously weren't there. Topich, like they're overseas. But Rob Dillingham didn't participate in it. He's dealing with an injury, which was kind of a shame. And a lot of these guys obviously weren't going to compete in the 5v5 drills because they already kind of know they're going in the first round. So a lot of those guys were fringe first rounders, fringe drafted guys. And they were trying to elevate their stock throughout the 5v5s, which happened on Tuesday and Wednesday. And it's just a wild experience because you go in, and I'm like walking by Masai Ujiri, like right next to him, like Dwayne Casey, Monty Williams, Sean Marks, Rob Pelinka. Like I'm next to these guys. Shams, I walked right past. Zach Lowe. I mean, I walked past Zach Edey at one point. He made me look like an absolute, like, he's a giant to me. Like Zach Lowe was there, Bobby Marks. I didn't see Woj in person though. Gavoni obviously, and of ESPN, and it was really cool. Like I'm sitting around like scouts and agents. Like I think the big like I sat next to Rich Paul. Yeah, that was on the craziest things on Wednesday. I'm sitting down and like the guys I was with, they're like, we think LeBron's coming. Like Rich Paul's right there, right next to you, and Bronny's playing in the second scrimmage game, and LeBron came, and it was cool because like I got to be in like some same clips as LeBron, which is kind of wild. But then I ended up leaving before that game actually started because I had to catch my flight because New York had some issues. So my original flight got delayed to like 10 p.m. and then I was able to hop on one before, so I couldn't stay for Bronny's scrimmage. But that was kind of wild, being like 5 feet from LeBron. And yeah, it's wild. Everybody's there, and it's obviously you can't be like you can't like ask for a picture. It's like I want to like start conversations with these guys, but they're all here on work, right? So you don't want to like overstep your boundaries. You got to do like right place, right time. They're all here for business. I'm kind of here for that, but not as much as they are. So overall, 10 out of 10 experience. It was really cool. Hope I'm back next year. And then you really just kind of get insight on these prospects. Like you're right in front of them. You get to see their jumpers, how they act. And I think that's really cool when I'm making these videos and talking about the prospects for the draft. So yeah, it was a really cool experience. And yeah, we can get into this. We're going to start off and we're going to react to the Ringers mock draft here. So this is from Kevin O'Connor, who can be a little unorthodox sometimes with his mocks and is a little bit different than everybody else. So he has Alex Sarr going number 1. That has been a constant pretty much theme out of every outlet. This is going to be my last mock draft that I'm reacting to. I mean, you guys are going to see this, I think, on Friday. So I think Friday I'm also reacting to CBS Sports mock draft on the Straw's channel, and then Sunday the Athletics, and then I'm done with the reaction of the outlets. We'll pick those up again probably after probably closer to the draft for sure. But yeah, so Alex Sarr has been a common theme going number 1 in all these mocks. Kevin O'Connor at the Ringer, he's their main draft guy. And yeah, we'll get into this. And so for the podcast, you guys will at the end get my Cavs offseason thoughts. But for YouTube, it's just going to be this and the first part, which was me just basically talking about my combine experience. Donovan Clingan going 2 to the Washington Wizards. Yeah, this is the first outlet I've seen have Clingan 2. Now, Woj just came out with a pod that apparently mentions that Clingan has a really good chance going top 3. If he doesn't go 1 to Atlanta, it's 2 to Washington, not 2 to Washington, it's 3 to Houston, which is kind of interesting. So Kevin O'Connor only got to have Clingan at number 2. I believe ESPN and Bleacher Report have Reese Shea. CBS Sports has Reed Shepherd, and The Athletic has Nikola Topic. So we're seeing some variety here at number 2, which is a breath of fresh air. Last year was pretty much between Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson, and this year we're getting a bunch of people. I'm sure somebody's got to run away with the favorite. I'm surprised it's not like Matas Buzelis yet. But yeah, we have Clingan going 2 to Washington. I don't really love that for them. I mean, Clingan's a fine player, don't get me wrong. I'd rather like Reed Shepherd. I'd rather Nikola Topic. I'd rather Ron Holland. But I get what they want in Donovan Clingan, and they have such a big need at that center position, and he's somebody that can lock up that spot for you for the next 5 years at someone that's going to be able to run the pick and roll. You hope he develops a jumper, but is like someone that can be in drop coverage, can rim protect, can rebound, and like I said, it's something the Wizards need, and this is the type of draft where you could draft for need rather than best player available. Next up, we have Nikola Topic going 3 to the Houston Rockets. Yeah, I've seen this before. I don't know if I like this. I guess it's really figuring out what this team is going to look like in 3 years. Is Jalen Green going to be on the roster? Is Amen Thompson going to be your lead point guard? If so, then I don't get Nikola Topic here. But if you view more of an off-ball wing, then I could see this pick. And then you would assume Fred VanVleet's not here anymore. So this pick is from the James Harden trade, and you had Nikola Topic going 3. Interesting, but he's someone that can facilitate. They could trade this pick. Apparently, they like Donovan Clingan a lot, which I'd rather them draft Topic over Clingan, because Clingan's really going to just be a bench guy for them unless they don't think Jabari Smith's going to get a rookie extension, which you hope doesn't happen. But either way, Topic 3 to the Rockets. I think that's the first time I've seen that. Then we have Rob Dillingham 4 to the San Antonio Spurs, which I like. I've mocked that before. Now I'm kind of leaning towards maybe the idea of San Antonio going defense at 4. But I mean, if Topic goes in the top 3 and they maybe are worried that they might not get like Collier at 8, or it's really just Topic and Dillingham or the guards and Shepherd that they want, and they're like, all right, they're not going to be there at 8. Let's just get Rob Dillingham at 4. Then I could see that. But if they think one of them is going to make it to 8, I would like Castle or Ron Holland at 4. So Dillingham going 4 to the Spurs. He's dealing with some injury. That's why he wasn't at the combine right now. Matas Buzelis 5 to Detroit. Yep, I recently mocked this in my post-combine mock that you guys are going to see this weekend on the Ross channel, because I think some things have changed, especially for some of those second-round prospects. But Buzelis is someone that could be a job saver. Like, there's a chance this organization gets gutted after this year if it's another bottom spot in the Eastern Conference. But you're hoping Matas Buzelis is someone that can kind of prolong that and keep their hopes as being the GM in this organization alive going forward. Number 6, we have Reed Shepherd going to the Charlotte Hornets. I'm a fan of this pick, actually. I've mocked this before, and I've said I like him in between Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball, and gives you some insurance as well if LaMelo gets hurt, which has been inevitable over the last couple of years, that Shepherd can come in and be your backup point guard in a pinch as well. And I think he could play well with Nick Smith, who I'm still high on from last year's draft class. Number 7, we have Zachary Reese-Sachet falling here to Portland. This is what's crazy about these mocks. Like Reese-Sachet going 7 in the ringers, but is going 2 in other outlets. It's just going to be different around the board, and that's what I'm very excited for this upcoming draft and the workouts and the interviews and kind of the intel that we're going to be hearing from these outlets going forward. And Reese-Sachet 7, I mean, if he's there, I would do this as well. I don't think he makes it to 7, but I could see definitely how there's a chance it happens. But I'm a fan of Reese-Sachet in Portland's offensive system, and he could be a nice floor spacer for Scoot Henderson and can kind of keep you out wide. I mean, he's not somebody that could play your 5 spot. He's 6'8" listed here. I've seen like 6'10" before, so I guess 6'8". But he's someone that needs to put on a lot of weight, needs to work on his ball handling ability, but I think is someone that could be a good shooter in the NBA level. Cody Williams going 8 to San Antonio over Ron Holland, over Stephon Castle. I don't like that. Like, I think you're going to, I don't know. Cody Williams could be a good defender in this league for sure, but I worry about his defense right away. He's a skinny dude, man. He is skinny. He's got to put on some weight for sure. 6'8", 180. He's a foot taller than me, and I'm 20 pounds lighter. That's not good. That's not good whatsoever. That's crazy. I guess it's just all the cardio. Like, how are you that skinny? I know obviously everybody's metabolism's different and stuff, and obviously his main job right now is running up and down a basketball floor and burning hundreds and hundreds of calories like that. But it's just crazy. 6'8", like 180. Like, that's so skinny. And I'm worried he's going to get bodied a little bit when he starts off his career at the NBA level. But San Antonio could be a fun fit. I mean, him playing with Wemby can only benefit him. I just think that the way that his mock draft fell, I would have preferred Holland or Castle, get some defense. But I do think Williams has defensive upside, but not as right away as you're trying to like win kind of with Wemby next year. 9, Ron Holland to the Grizzlies. I like him going to a winning environment. I would not like Holland in like Washington. Charlotte, I don't know if I would like Holland, like just the environment fit. But in Memphis, it's funny because they're a good team, but I wouldn't say they're like a mature team. I mean, Marcus Smart is an adult in the room. They lost Steven Adams, or they traded him away, which was an adult in the room. This team is still very young. John Morant's coming back. But I do think that this is a good position for Holland to be under a smart front office with Zach Kleiman and under a good head coach in Taylor Jenkins. So we have 10, Stephon Castle going to the Jazz. This is crazy. I just mocked Castle 2, and I've seen him top 5 in a lot of mocks, and he has him going 10 here. I mean, this is great value for Utah. Like, they'd have a chance to go Castle or Collier here at 10, and I think like Castle is a great guy defensively for this team that could use some defense and doesn't have to take time out of the rotation for Sexton or Keontae George. You can put Castle at the 3. I view him more as a wing than a guard or like a point guard. And then you have Markkanen at the 4, Kessler at the 5, Collins at the 5, and then you also have Hendricks in there as well. Like, that's a great pick for Utah, and if he falls, that'd be immense value. Dalton Knecht going to the Bulls at 11. I don't know how I feel about that. I like Knecht as a player, man. I think he really helped out his draft stock at the deadline because he's athletic and his shot is smooth. It's silky smooth. But do the Bulls want to draft a 23-year-old that has a limited ceiling? Like, he would be, I think, better suited in OKC or Sacramento, or even San Antonio or Memphis. But him going to Chicago is weird because I think he has a limited ceiling. And if they let DeMar DeRozan walk and potentially trade VanVleet, then I could see the appeal in that for sure. Tijon Salon going 12 to the OKC Thunder. He's helped his draft stock out as of late, having some good games over there in France. The shot looks good. He's athletic. He's still just 18 years old. We got to keep that in mind. And he's definitely helping out his public perception as of late when people were kind of down on him over the last couple of weeks. 13, we have Devin Carter going to the Sacramento Kings. I haven't seen this mock yet because it's always like Jared McCain here, or someone that's always been a consensus lottery guy. I mean, Carter's legit. One of the more athletic players in this draft class. Someone that can run up and down the floor, can grab rebounds, can hit threes, and could replace Davion Mitchell, or is like, I think, way better than Davion Mitchell was. Now, I'm not going to say way better as a prospect because Mitchell was a beast at Baylor, but Carter is someone that I think is one of the more sure things in this draft in his specific role. Never going to make an all-star game probably, never going to be an all-NBA guy, but I think is somebody that is going to be a difference maker and is going to be like reliving the world, like watching Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo be huge for this Knicks team, and even Cason Wallace like be huge for the Thunder and these role players. That's what I think Carter can be going forward in the league. Jacoby Walter, 14 to Portland. So they get Reset Shea and Walter. Talk about upside in this draft, man, both offense and defensively. I like Walter still as a prospect to go in the top 15, 16. I think he could also benefit from going to Miami at 16, or excuse me, at 15, but he's someone that I think could be a 3-and-D guy right away. And I think you're immediately prioritizing his development over Rupairs or Chris Murray's going forward. And you hope to get like Matisse Thybulle out of there, right? So next up, we have Jared McCain going to the Miami Heat at 15. Yeah, Jared McCain is a great shooter in this draft. I mean, if Miami's going to end up with McCain or Devin Carter, like, job well done. There's a lot of guys in this tier that I love, like Tristan Da Silva as well. If you're watching on YouTube, he's going to the Sixers at 16. That, I think McCain, spot-up shooter, someone that can play off-ball, on-ball would be great. And if you even move Tyler Hero, McCain could eventually kind of take that role. Or you want to move Hero to the bench, McCain could take that spot on the starting lineup. Da Silva going to the Sixers at 16. You guys know I'm a big Da Silva fan. I think he's somebody that the Sixers need to prioritize that type of archetype and player this offseason. Guys that can defend, dribble, and knock down shots, but can also crash the glass as well. Instead of going for like a big fish like a Paul George, I'd rather get a bunch of Tristan Da Silvas this offseason, right? Bring back Kelly Oubre. Da Silva, I think, would be great for this team. And they need a backup 5. I don't know if they would want Yves Missi here. That could also been in play. Kel'el Ware to the Pelicans at 17. This is the highest I've seen Kel'el Ware be mocked. I mean, he killed the combine. This pick would probably go to the Lakers. So the Lakers getting Kel'el Ware, I think I'd rather have Yves Missi, but I could see the appeal in him. Jalen Tyson going 18 to the Magic. That's the highest I've seen Jalen Tyson go. Wow. Okay. This is crazy. I've seen Collier mocked very high in drafts, and Tyson is usually around like 28 to 33. He is Tyson 18, Isaiah Collier falling 19 to the Toronto Raptors. Wow. Oh my God, this mock is so crazy. This mock is actually kind of wild because I got spoiled the next pick as well. Oh my God. All right, Tyson, I see. I kind of like Furphy more. I like Carrington. I like George. But if you want like a strong, like bigger wing, Tyson could be that guy that's more NBA ready than like a Furphy overall. Collier, I do not think falls to 19. I don't think he makes it past the Pelicans at 17. I think the Sixers would take him at 16. Heat definitely at 15. I mean, if he's available at 14, who knows? Maybe Portland wants a backup point guard if they're going to move on from Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think he falls to 19, but if he did, and I could watch, I mean, that'd be great. Collier at the 1, quickly at the 2, RJ 3, Barnes 4, Pirtle 5. That's at least a fun team to tune into. I don't think it makes the playoffs, but I do like Collier under Darko Rajakovic's system. I think that makes sense. This is crazy. Nikola Jurisic, okay, going to the Cavs at 20. By far the highest I've seen him mocked. He's usually a mid to high second rounder. I've never seen him in the first round, but alone 20. This is why the Ringer's a little bit different, man. I mean, he had a good combine. He's got a good ball handling ability, or a good he's got a good handle. He could score inside. He's got a nice finish. He's someone that could be a crafty passer. I don't think this is a Cleveland pick, though. They're trying to win next year. I think Jurisic is going to take a little bit of time in the league. And with Kevin McCullough on the board, even with Carlton Carrington, who's the next pick to New Orleans, who's a raw prospect as well, but I think is going to come in and be a much better shooter right away, would be, I think, a better suited pick to Cleveland at 20. I think you can get Jurisic early in the second round if Cleveland really wanted him. So, yeah, that's a crazy mock. Bub Carrington, 21. going to the New Orleans Pelicans. I like that. They're a team that could look for a true point guard going forward. I mean, if this is the way the draft fell, just trade up to get Isaiah Collier. It would be funny, too, if they can, like, opt to keep their pick on draft night based on how the draft is going. Like, they could tell the Lakers, like, when they're picking, all right, you actually can have it. We don't like anybody there. Or maybe somebody falls and they're like, we're actually keeping it. That'd be a wild stipulation. Yves Missi to the Suns at 22. I've mocked Kolek a ton. I've mocked Biggs. So I like Missi here. They need to get some competition and depth behind Yusuf Nurkic, or hopefully one day a starter instead of Nurkic. Deron Holmes going to the Bucks at 23. Showed some nice flashes of his jumper at the combine as well. And at Dayton this previous year. Doesn't look great, but hey, it goes in, and they need some big man depth after Brook Lopez, who isn't getting any younger. Oh my God, my Knicks. The next 2 picks are, wow. All right, Pacomi Didiet going to the Knicks at 24. I don't know if this is high, but I just don't think this is a Tibbs or Leon Rose pick, honestly. They have yet to draft anybody like this in this regime, in this era. Like, we're not drafting like your Rokas, I forgot his name now. Jacobudis? No, you know who I'm talking about. I butchered that. I apologize. But, like, even those guys of the world and your Kuzminskis, like, and then Neil Aquinez, I don't think the Knicks would take somebody like Didiet. I know he's a good shooter. They would just take Johnny Furphy. I would guarantee that. Then the Knicks are taking Zach Edey at 25. I mean, they can only give Isaiah Hartenstein 4 years, $73 million this offseason. A team could definitely outbid him. A team like Washington, OKC, San Antonio, that have cap space, right? Can throw a bag at Isaiah Hartenstein. Would the Knicks replace him with Zach Edey? I don't know. I wouldn't like that. He's not athletic enough for Tibbs. He's not. And I don't think he's really what the Tibbs are buying into. I think Yves Missi would be in play. Maybe Khalil Ware. That's it. Maybe Deron Holmes. Definitely not Zach Edey. I don't mind Zach Edey in like this number spot, like around the mid-20s, but to the Knicks, I'd rather just mock him 26 to the Wizards. But I guess since he has Klingon at 2, doesn't really make sense to them double up on centers in the first round. But hey, they don't have great centers on their team. I mean, I like Tristan Vukcevic, but I guess they could have gone too. So Bobby Klitman going to the Wizards at 26 could be a nice kind of 3-and-D guy. Nah. I wonder about his three-point shot, if it's going to be good. I mean, it was subpar for Carnes in the NBL this past season, but he's got a nice handle for somebody at like 6'9", 6'10". Tyler Smith to the Timberwolves at 27. I also don't like them drafting a big. Like, Naz Reid is a six-man coming off the bench and is so good and can't play 30 minutes a night because they have Gobert and Towns. Maybe if they move Towns, but I think there's like, I would look at Ryan Dunn here. Just get a really good defender or get a point guard. Get an AJ Mitchell, KJ Simpson, or Tyler Kolek. Kyle Filipowski going to the Nuggets at 28. I mean, he really only needs to play 15 minutes a night on this Nuggets team, but I don't really know if I like him behind Nikola Jokic. There's some other bigs that I think I'd prefer over Filipowski in that role. Keyshawn George going to the Jazz at 29. I like this. Back-to-back years, them drafting a George in the first round, last year with Keontae. And if they got Castle and Keyshawn George, I would like that identity going into Utah. Castle and George can both defend on the perimeter, and George is going to be a good shooter in this league. And to wrap up the first round, we got Chomsky to the Celtics at 30. I disagree with this as well. I think the Celtics are looking for somebody more NBA ready at the 5 spot. He says the Celtics don't exactly need the help now. I think they kind of do. I mean, Horford isn't getting any younger. Kristaps isn't getting any healthier. I'd prefer a better backup big behind Tillman or Cornette, and Ulrich's going to take 3 to 4 years to develop in this league. So we're going to go quickly through these second rounders. Wow, we are seeing some guy like Trendon Flowers, 31 to the Raptors. He was my Mr. Irrelevant in my mock. I've seen him barely go in mocks, but he's very athletic. He is. I like the one sentence he wrote on him too to justify him going 31. Kevin McCullough, 32 to the Jazz, falling out of the first round. But hey, if you're ending up with Castle, you're ending up with George and McCullough, I'm a fan of that. Mark Sears, by far the highest I've seen him get mocked, at 33 to the Milwaukee Bucks, is a smaller guard. He's maybe, it starts with a 5, not a 6 in his height, but he's got a high motor. We'll see if I don't know if he can go back to score or not. Johnny Furphy, pretty low here going to the Blazers, but I do like them getting some more shooting, and it's kind of redundant with Chris Murray there, but I can see the appeal of just best player available. Ryan Dunn to the Spurs at 35. Good value. Really good defender. AJ Mitchell to the Pacers at 36. I could see that. He's a little bit older, but could eventually replace like McConnell down the line. Baylor Shireman to the Timberwolves at 37. Sharpshooter. Fine with him going in the top 40. Cam Christie to the Knicks at 38. I'd be a fan of this. Now, this is more of a New York Knicks pick. I could see Cam Christie going to the Knicks at 24 rather than seeing Pacomi Didiet. Jalen Bridges to the Grizzlies at 39. He's getting a lot of love from the combine. Osei Ogadoro to the Blazers at 40. I would love him if he fell to Philly at 41, but they have them taking KJ Simpson, who is the standout from the combine and the combine games, and they could look for another guard off the bench, depending on if they bring back Kyle Lowry or not. Jameer Watkins, good athlete out of Florida State, to the Hornets at 42. Terrence Shannon, pretty low here to the Heat at 43, but it's funny because Kevin O'Connor ranked Shannon like top 20 in his like pre-March Madness mock because Shannon had a great Big Ten tournament. Kind of prisoner of the moment so far. But it says Shannon is currently awaiting a preliminary hearing in a criminal. Yeah, we know what's going on with him. That happened this year at Illinois. Hunter Salas, Rockets 44. Like that. Can do a little bit of everything. Harrison Ingram, 45 to the Kings. I don't really think he's going to have a role in this league, but he does have a nice looking jumper. Kolek, 46 to the Clippers. This is crazy. I mocked him 22 to the Suns, 24 spots lower. Caravan, 47 to the Magic. They need shooting. Another French prospect to the Spurs at 48, and Melvin Ajinka. I don't like Peyton Sanford going 49 to the Pacers. I don't like him as a prospect. If the Pacers wanted to take him, sure. He could prove me wrong. Keyshawn Johnson to the Pacers at 50. Strong guy. I don't think he's going to have much of a jumper in this league. And then back-to-back Arizona picks with Pele Larson, 51 to the Wizards. I like him. I like it. Dembona a ton. 52 to the Golden State Warriors. 2 thumbs up for me. That'd be a great pick for them. Justin Edwards, 53 to the Pistons. I think that's great value. Surprised he doesn't have. I was going to wait for the Bronny pick. Yeah. Tristan Newton, 54 to the Celtics. I don't think he gets drafted. I don't. I just don't. He's not really a great athlete, and I don't know. I think he's going to be more of an undrafted guy. Bronny James to the Lakers at 55. There it is. Dylan Jones, I think, is good value to the Nuggets at 56. Ethan Almanza to the Grizzlies at 57. That's the lowest I've seen him be mocked. I thought he could have been a first rounder, but it's not looking great. I mean, he's still 18. Trayvon Brazil wrapping out this 2-round mock at 58. So, yeah, Bronny at 55. We'll see what happens. It's still so intriguing what's going to happen with him during the draft. I hope you guys did enjoy this reaction to the Ringers mock draft. And, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the podcast. You guys will finish off just me listening to me talk about the Cavs and what they're going to do this off season. And yeah, thank you all for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, for Spotify and Apple Podcasts, here's me talking about the Cavs. And for YouTube, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.